All right.
So we're recording. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm here with a friend, with a Maltese friend, and I'm feeling very nervous because it's the very first time I ever did this. And this is the very first time for Doreen, too. And you're also feeling nervous. You just said, just before we started recording, she said that I asked her how she's feeling, and she said she's feeling excited, right,
Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason I asked Doreen to be for an interview is because, okay, that's your daughter in the background, right?
Nope.
No? Okay.
No, that's my rabbit.
Cool. How did I approach you to ask you to interview you, Doreen? Because I can't remember.
We have been friends on Facebook for a long time, Tanya. And once I posted a status where someone said something on me, and you contacted me like to ask me what happened and not to take notice of what other people say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then the conversation developed into something different, and I can't remember how it developed. Anyway, the reason why I asked Doreen to be interviewed is because I really want to inspire people by her story. And so I'll let Doreen introduce herself. I'm stammering. I'm feeling nervous. So, Doreen, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, as you said, I'm Doreen. I'm almost 44 years old. I'm married. I have 2 children. I'm originally from Zabbar and I live in Birza Abuja. What else you want to know?
What else do I want to know? I want to know a little bit about your life, but about your children.
Right. My son is Shartin. He's 25 years old. He's engaged to Nicole and he's going to get married next year. My daughter is Jasmine. She's 20 years old. She's studying as a hairdresser. She has a boyfriend for these last 3 years, Duncan. I'm really, really proud of them both. One is a mechanical engineer, and my daughter is following one of her dreams as well. My husband died 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was my life, the love of my life. And I'm here now, a nurse.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So the reason I asked Doreen for this interview is actually because to ask her the reason why she became a nurse. As we just heard, Doreen is 44 years old and she's now a nurse. Can you tell us what you did before you decided to become a nurse? What was your work life?
Well, I finished school at 15 and a half. And according to my dad, a woman should work, and when she settled down, she should take care of the family. So a girl studying is not worth it. So as soon as I left school, I wasn't able to continue my studies, and I went to work. By the age of 17 and a half, I was already pregnant and married. I did a lot of jobs, from housekeeping, a sales girl, a cheese counter, real estate agent, catering, work in textiles factories. I did almost everything, but nothing seems to fulfill my sense of rewardness. I always tried to find something else. The only thing that was important at that time was to be financially stable and give my kids what they needed. At that point, my kids and my husband were my focus. But by time, I forgot that when I was young, I wanted to be a nurse or an air hostess. Those were my main two things that I wanted to do. But raising a family, trying to keep up with the with life, with the daily basis things, I forgot about everything. But once I was speaking to someone, and it just came up that when I was young, I wished to do something like that. I wanted to be a nurse or an air hostess, but the plane of the air hostess flew long time ago. But I still, the thing of a nurse was still inside.
May I ask you a question? How old were you when you were reminded of your old dream of an air hostess or of a nurse?
Maybe I was a few years back. I was 38 or 39.
By which time your children were...
By which time my children were already grown up. My daughter still was at school, but my son was already finished his studies and everything. My son was already working, but my younger daughter was still at school.
And then carry on, sorry.
No, someone told me that now there is the possibility that some private companies do private courses. I checked about it, but the only courses available were not about nursing, were about caring for the elderly as a carer. So I decided to start the City and Guilds for the Elderly Care.
And this was, I'm putting an, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm putting an emphasis on the age, because as I said in the beginning, maybe I could elaborate here, is that I want to inspire older people to follow their dreams, to follow their heart, to go for what they once aspired. And as you said, which I really like, you had forgotten, but somehow somebody rekindled the memory, sparked your dream. So when you started this course, how old were you?
Late 30s, very late 30s.
Okay. So you did it immediately after that person spoke to you, which means you were...
Yes, I just called, and I was still working as a cheese counter at that time. And I did it as a part-time. So I was working full-time in a supermarket, and in the same time I was studying and doing a part-time, because part of the course was that you get your practical placements. So placements enough were not enough for me, so I decided to do it as a part-time job as well. So I used to work full-time and part-time as a carer.
Mm.
And in the meantime, my future daughter-in-law,
Sorry, what does it mean? You had a full-time job, and you had a part-time job as a carer. You a housewife caring
yes,
for your children. How many hours did that involve? Part-time and full-time.
well, full-time I didn't work every day. I used to work a 6-day week in the supermarket in total of 40 hours, and maybe I did 2 or 3 shifts or a night shift, let's say a night shift, and then in the morning I would go to the supermarket. It's another story. But I don't know, maybe in 1 week I used to work 60 to 65 hours, full time and part time.
And you had your kid, and you were a full-time mother.
Yes, but my kids were already independent. My husband used to help me a lot in the housework, cooking. He was a great support. As long as I was happy, he was happy to let me do whatever I wished for. Let's say that.
Mm.
I cannot say the family didn't suffer or everything was plain sailing, because my not being present at home, some things may suffer, but we managed.
Mm. Mm. And how long did you? How long was the course? How many weeks, months, years did you
No,
combine your work with your study?
no, the city and guilds lasted for not longer than 6 months, 8 months. So it was a short course, but I got all the certificates. And then I decided to stop my full-time job and continue as a carer. But this time I continued as a carer as a part-time.
So you left your full-time job, just to clarify, and you started as a part-time carer in the same function that you had, but you switched jobs to a part-time.
Yes,
Okay.
because caring for others was my main. That was what I liked at that moment.
Hmm.
I did a preference. Which job would I like to continue? The supermarket one or the carer one? So I went for the carer one.
Hmm. May I ask you a question about when you met that person and the person who rekindled your desire to become a nurse?
Mm.
Did you immediately just think, okay, I'm going to do this, or did you have any?
No, not immediately, because I considering my age. Considering my age, I didn't know exactly if it was possible. I had to think and rethink and discuss with my husband what I was going to do, because this was not something that had only to do only with me. It had to involve all the family.
And you just said something, I didn't know it was possible. What could have not been possible apart from the family?
No, basically, I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know that, like, how to say it?
Jek trid tgħidha bil-Malti mbagħad
Il-ħaġa kienet li meta qaluli biha ma kontx naħseb li dawn is-servizzi kienu available għal minu tal-età tiegħi.
Okay, just so at the time you didn't imagine that these sort of courses were available for someone your age, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Carry on. And if you'd like to carry on in Maltese, don't worry, and then I'll translate.
Sometimes I block him and sometimes.
It's okay. This is not about perfection. This is about a conversation, about connection, and about passing on a message. So everything is allowed. Everything.
No, then I spoke to my husband and he was like supportive and he told me like, if you want to do it, just go for it. My husband was the type of person that even though you have a family and you have your obligations, at the end of the day, you're a person at the end of the day, and you have your wants and needs just for yourself. He lived in a way, he tried to find a way to live his freedom away from everything. And it was his motorcycle, unfortunately. So we were like an open couple, like say, it's not because you are my husband, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Not because I was his wife, you cannot do this and you cannot do that. We work together and everything is possible. And we did it.
So what you're saying is that, and I really like that, is that he supported you and he supported your growth as an individual inside.
And it's not I support you because you are my wife. I support you because you're a person at the end of the day, and apart from me and the kids, you have your own life.
Okay. So you were 38, and after you finished that certificate?
After I finished that certificate, I started working in this elderly home, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the residents. I was happy. Then my future daughter-in-law decided to go to nursing school, and listening to her, sharing her experiences, and seeing her motivated in studying and achieving what she wants, I started more like, oh, but caring for me is not enough. It's not enough. I want more. And once she came and told me, listen, there are some mature students in my course. And I said, what? And she told me, like 40-year-old, there was one, I think she was a grandma even. She was a grandma. And I told her, listen, what they did. And she asked them, and I decided to call the university. I did an appointment. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it because as a scholar qualifications, I had nothing. I didn't have O levels. I didn't have A levels. I had nothing. I just had the leaving school certificate that I have finished my secondary school. Then I made an appointment and he told me, no, you just need to apply online. If you are accepted, you need to do a proficiency test. And if you pass that proficiency test, you can start your course. It's a 3-year course. Like before, I came home, I spoke to my husband, and he was really happy for me that I was going to do something that I always wanted to do. And I started my journey. I did that proficiency test. I passed. I received an email that I can start school in October. I was already 40 by that time. I was going to be 40. I was going to be 40 in December, and I started university 1st October 2014.
I really like the fact that that in spite of not having any qualifications, which I don't have either, I just have a school leaving certificate. Well, I do have some O levels, but I never carried on with my studies. I wanted to, but turning it back to you, it's really wonderful that you still called university in spite of I mean, what are credentials? I don't know. We give a lot of weight to credentials, but you found university, you applied, you passed your proficiency test, and you started university.
At that time, I just thought, what do I have to lose? The worst case scenario, they would have told me, no, you can't apply. And that's it.
Now, some people might not think that way. Some people might be afraid of not being accepted, of being rejected, and wouldn't even try. But you must have really wanted to do it. I mean, maybe it sounds stupid, but what I'm trying to highlight is that we can do whatever we want to do as long as we really, really want it.
It was scary at the beginning because you have to consider that I have last attended school 25 years. So I have been out of school for 25 years. So how I am going to go in a classroom with a lot of youngsters. There were a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-old students with me. So I was going to school with kids the same age as my children. So it was a little bit awkward. It was a little bit awkward.
Okay, but then how did you get on with the students? How was the relationship? How did that evolve?
No, they act normally. They act normally as youngsters. She's just an old lady. She wants to record. And in fact, as a joke, and I think one of them, she's going to kill me. They used to call us, because with me there were another, I think, 5 or 6 other mature students. So we used to call ourselves as we are the fossili. We used to call ourselves as fossils. But it was a joke, lasted 3 years. And it was really cute and nice. But we integrated very well with them. They were able to, they were very nice in helping us study, and we did group chats, and they, in any difficulties, they used to help us where to do our research or share information. We were a good group.
So it was a good experience.
Yes, it was.
Recently, I saw some photos on Facebook of your graduation celebration. Do you want to talk about that? Because now you've graduated, eh?
Yes. Which photos?
Some on a double-decker bus, a red bus, a tourist bus. And and you having fun and blowing your whistle and really, really enjoying yourself and enjoying the fact that you graduated. Hip, hip, hurrah!
It was something amazing. Almost 44 years, I have worn a toga and went on to a park, received a certificate. Oh God, is this a dream? To be honest, celebrating is not easy. I didn't want to go, neither for the graduation nor for the basket, but some of those pests told me if I don't go for the basket, they will come with the double decker in front of my house, start bumping the horn, and until I go down, they won't stop.
Who are these pests, if I may ask?
My ex-classmates and now my co-workers.
And may I ask you why it isn't easy to celebrate? Is that all right to ask you that? You don't have to answer, Doreen.
No. With me, my husband should celebrate all this, and he's not here.
Mm.
He worked hard for it as I did, and he should be here sharing the benefits of it,
Mm.
the credits of it.
Mm.
It wasn't easy at the first place to begin. It wasn't easy in the second place to continue. At the beginning, to clarify, after I finished my first year of studies, just 5 days after I did my last exam, my husband died. He went out for his bike ride and he never returned home. He was just 45 years old. He was still healthy. We had our dreams. And for me to continue without him was very difficult.
Mm. Mm.
But I've decided to continue because that's what he would have wanted me to do. Apart from that, if I collapsed, my kids would have collapsed with me too. I would have become a burden on them, and instead of being their mom, they would have become my parents.
Mm.
And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted my kids to continue with their lives. Their lives changed as much as mine did.
Mm.
And I want them to have an easy, nothing is easy. I wanted them to continue their life, not as nothing had happened, but at least they continue with their own lives. I lived mine, and now it's time for them to build their future out of their parents' house. They both have someone,
Mm.
and it's not fair on them. And gradually, I thought that by finishing this course, maybe I will rebuild myself.
Mm. So, well, I'd heard this before, but I'm still once again very touched by it. Very touched by your courage to continue what you had started, irrespective of the circumstances that you found yourself in, with the loss that you had to face. And almost, I'm not sure if it's a good word, in spite of it, you kept going and you graduated, and you also went to celebrate, which is something I think, if I may say, I'm not sure if which is something I think your husband might have enjoyed watching.
Yes. He would do something like, oh God, she's crazy, but loving it.
And this was just last weekend, right?
It was last week, yes.
So now you're working as a nurse?
Yes.
In the same place? Is it the same place you're at now?
No. Now I live in Madov.
It's okay.
No, it's almost I'm living there because I'm always working in months.
Yeah. The last time I spoke to you, I don't know how many shifts you had after each other, and you were working overtime.
The 22nd, and I was working like a morning and a night in the same day. I enjoy it, so I don't argue about it. And I'm always happy to help others. That's another thing. I will work in here in Malta. We have the general hospital, and then we have the mental hospital, and then we have the elderly. They are all run by the government, and I'm in the elderly setting facility.
Okay.
So I continued being a carer in a private elderly home, and I ended up working as a nurse in an elderly home.
Yeah, yeah. In our private conversation, you mentioned something else, that you intend to
further my studies.
Yeah.
I'm considering it I'm taking it in consideration.
And what would that be? What are you taking into consideration, Doreen?
I just have been graduated as a diploma nurse, and I'm seriously thinking of continue for the degree.
And how many years would that be?
It depends, because 1.5 years or 2. But you can do it. You don't have to attend lectures or whatever. You just do it. You just do assignments and the thesis at the end at your own time and your own space.
So you would carry on with your full-time job, and you could continue studying at your own pace. Okay. Yes. Wow. Wow, it's quite a journey.
It's not confirmed. I'm seriously thinking about it.
Well, I'm putting this on YouTube and I'm putting this on Facebook. So people are going to ask you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You do. There's no pressure. You do what you want. I'm just joking. Of course not. You don't have to do anything. I think you've already done so much. You've achieved so much. And yeah, that's all I have to say. You have achieved so much.
With what I have, I'm more than happy. But if I further my studies, it's not. I'm already what I wanted to be, but doing the degree is something that I'm a very ambitious person. If later in life I would decide to apply for another type of position, like being, no, I don't want to say it, I don't want to sound very, a higher position, I can. Without a degree, you stay a nurse.
Yeah.
If I have the possibility to go to work abroad with the diploma, I can't, but with the degree, yes.
So it gives you more possibilities and more flexibility to promote you, to get promoted and to better yourself. And no, you're already good as you are, so it's not a question of bettering yourself. I think
it's a matter of maybe improving in my career, not be better, because you can never be better.
Never be better? What do you mean?
No, you can be better. In life, you never learn enough. You cannot be at your utmost. You can be better, but you never reach you can never reach the higher, because there's always room for improvement in everything we do. Everyone does mistakes. You try always to do your best, but you can never say, I'm the best, because you aren't.
I'm very tempted to go into into that discussion, but I won't, because this is not what this is all about. Because there are some things that are questionable for me. So, based on the fact that I invited you to this interview so that we could inspire people, what is the one message, what is the one thing that you would tell anybody especially people of our age, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 40-year-old, people who have already gone to the rigmarole of work and having left school life a long time ago? What is the one message that you would give to people as inspiration?
No, never give up. Never give up. If you have a dream, even if it's simple, when you were young, you would have liked to dance. It's not a thing about school or studying or whatever. Check what the possibilities are. And even just for 1 hour a day, a week, whatever. If you just want to do something, just go for it, do it. No matter how old are you, no matter if there will be people around laughing at you. Don't care.
Do it.
As long as it makes you happy, just go for it, do it.
That's great. I love that. I really, really love it. I really love it. Doreen, during our private conversations, you touched upon something. You said a sentence which I wrote down, but I cannot find. You talked about if you love your job, you'll never work. How did you say that? You never work?
If you love what you do, as in a job, you will never work a single day.
I like that. I really like that. Okay. Doreen, thank you very much. Really, thank you for playing with me, for accepting this invitation, for having this conversation with me, and for wanting to inspire people as much as I do to as Fiona Wright would say it, if not now, when? Okay, I think That's it. That's the end of this conversation. It's been really, really great speaking with you, Doreen.
Thank you for this opportunity. You made it easier.
We made it easier. I was very
And now everyone is going to go on my Facebook page to see the picture of me jumping on the double-decker.
fantastic. I love it. I love it.
I didn't post all the photos, to be honest.
Oh, please do.
Eh?
Please do. Please post them.
I won't.
Okay. Doreen, nirringrazzjak ħafna.
Thank you, Inti.
And we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please share this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.